I was reading the news.
Okay.
The Daily Express reported that a couple in Jin, China, were forced to visit a hospital on the 18th after the woman's hand became stuck in her boyfriend's mouth.
Okay, so sorry, say this again. So
They went to the hospital because the woman's hand had become stuck in her boyfriend's mouth.
Gross.
So they were testing, in quotes, whether or not her hand could fit in his mouth when the muscles in his mouth spasmed, preventing, and clomping his jaw down, preventing her from pulling her hand out. So, his face turned red. He started salivating. His teeth clamped down on her hand.
Salivatating?
Salivating.
Yeah, okay, that's a good word.
Yeah, that's how you say the word. And, and she couldn't get her hand out. It was, biting down on her hand. They had to bring her to the hospital. They had to, inject
muscle relaxant
to get the hand out. It took about 20 minutes after the injection.
Oh, my God.
Would you rather have my hand stuck in your mouth for
Big Bang Theory
20 minutes or watch 20 minutes of the Big Bang Theory?
I'll take your hand.
I just watched it.
Welcome to Season 2 of Radical Apathy, the show that takes a hilarious and different dive into pop culture, gaming, and life. We're here to dissect the chaos and shrug at the drama, all while asking the question, why does it matter? Let's not care together. I like this. Enjoy the podcast Season 2 and share the communities on the to all of us.
Shiva Kamini Samakanda Crab!
Radical Apathy, everybody. Welcome.
And for anyone who doesn't know what that means, you go educate yourself, I think.
Yeah, step outside the box and learn.
What a great premise, though. You have your own fantasy sports league, and you name the trophy after everyone's crush from high school.
Who would your trophy be named after?
From high school?
Yeah.
Well, I only had one girlfriend.
Well, everybody. Who would have been the general crush of your high school?
I think probably a girl named Carrie. Probably,
Carrie.
Yeah.
No cool last name.
She was the.
We're gonna out her out.
Her name was Carrie Duick, and I think the guys would have said that because she was the most developed girl.
Okay.
In high school.
Yeah.
For all the right reasons. You know what I mean? She was the most curvy. So I think that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the
yeah.
In fact, my buddy, this is almost 30 years later after high school, or 25 years after high school. He sat down with her last month. She was in town. He met her, and he texted me, and he said, "I just told Carrie she was the goat of high school tits." And I started laughing. And I'm like, "Oh," he's like, "Yeah, she was really appreciated it." He said, "She's like, oh, that's so awesome."
I mean, but most people would. Everyone thinks they're shit in high school, right? Everyone thinks they're awful. Everyone thinks they hate them. So to find out, hey, everyone thought about you in high school in a good way, I think it would be a beneficial way to. I think so. I think we would like to hear it, regardless of the sexual intent behind it.
Yeah.
I apologize if I sound hoarse. Yeah, I just coming off a cold.
That's okay.
Yeah, they don't make them very strong, but. Still here. Still don't give a shit.
No.
And that's why we do our Radical Apathy. We are a fortnightly podcast where we ask ourselves the questions, why does it matter? Yeah.
You know what? How are you doing today?
You know what? I'm feeling better enough that I had to come here.
In the man cold?
Yeah.
And as we all know, man cold is top 2 worst conditions of all time.
These ladies don't get it.
They don't understand.
As we talked about, they don't understand it.
They don't get it.
But those of you that do, I'm fighting through for you, for us, for Corbyn.
After 3 weeks on the shelf.
After not coming in for a while.
Because it's that desperate. It's
yeah. It was a shit kicker for sure.
Yeah.
I am
coughing and everything.
I'm probably still gonna cough. I'm sucking back some fisherman friends.
You got some hydration drinks there?
Got some hydration drinks.
You got to drink the Prime, man. I told you, you bail on the Gatorade, drink the Prime.
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
I'm telling you, Prime fixes everything.
And is it Gatorade Prime or the other Prime?
No, it's called Prime.
It's just Prime.
Yeah, and don't get the energy drink. Get the regular. I'm telling you, fellas out there, you're hungover, drink a Prime. You feeling a little sloggy in the morning, drink a Prime. Look weird? Drink a Prime.
And this podcast is not brought to you by Prime.
No, it shouldn't be.
No,
it's so good though. I'm on a Google Phase, as you can see. I'm using my Pixel.
Yep. Back to the Pixel.
Back to the Pixel. You can't tell when I'm using a Pixel, but I can tell that. Well, I can tell. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No.
When other people switch to stuff.
Yeah, because you see your green bubble friends or not.
Yeah. But on never mind.
We got a heck of a show for you today.
Do we?
We do. That's where we go. We got some watch plans.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna get into that. We got some gripes we need to talk about.
I got no gripes. I got one.
We have a new segment that we're gonna called
very excited.
Jazzy Delights.
Oh, Jazzy Delights! I'm so excited for
that. We got a nice top 5 for today. I've brought in a exciting game for Corbyn and I. Corbyn and I.
Is it better than our draft last week?
It's a game. Well, it's a game of best is best.
I love best is best.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm in. Best is best.
I'm in.
I think it's a good one. I think it's going to bring up some controversies and
love best is best
and talking controversies.
Yeah,
as we do. Corbyn.
Yeah.
What are you watching?
And I don't know if it's been a spell since we've been together. I have been binge watching as fast as I can because I have to be. Because the conditions have to be right. There has to be no playoff sports on.
Oh, yeah, you're a sports guy.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because I have to watch all the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I have to be not on the acting set. So I have to be home, and there has to be no playoff sports on for me to sit down with my son, and we are binging Ted Lasso.
Right. You're still. So how many seasons is that show now?
It's a 3-season show.
And it's over.
And then, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
It could come back.
Maybe.
Okay.
So the first, because I don't know how it ends, but I think I'm on the season finale of the second season. But man, let me tell you, if you're ever feeling like garbage, have you seen this show?
No.
Okay. If you're ever feeling like garbage, turn on some Ted Lasso. You feel like $1 million.
It's very uplifting.
It's like the positive slime at the end of Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
You just feel
Your love keeps lifting me higher.
You just feel like $1 million after you watch it. You're like, man, that was great.
I like those shows.
It's funny, but you just love it. It's a refreshing show because it's like the most positive, great feeling show you ever watched. And it's funny at the same time.
And I heard a lot about it. I sat through a leadership conference once.
Oh God, that sounds awful.
Yeah, they usually are. And someone who was giving a speech to it, they said, "Hey, I'm going to teach you about leadership," and then they just played a bit of that show.
Oh wow, they're
Ted Lasso.
Okay, yeah,
that was them teaching leadership by having us watch television.
Oh, okay,
which fundamentally. It's hilarious for the irony of it. But yeah, from the small clip I saw, it seemed funny.
What happened in your clip?
They're in a dart.
Oh yeah, the dart thing.
Thing.
That's a great scene. That's one of the best.
Yeah,
one of the best scenes of the whole show.
That's what he brought up.
And it was. I loved it when I was watching it, and then I'm like. It was about 3 days ago. I'm like, I want to watch that scene again. So I just YouTubed it and put it on. I'm like, oh God, that was a good scene.
Yeah. Now, is that writing or is it the acting?
It's all of it.
Is it all perfect?
It's all of it.
Okay.
It's yeah. He is so good at this character, and then
Jason Sudeikis.
And then
is that who it is?
Yeah, Jason Sudeikis. And the dialogue is just so spot on. It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah. Ted Lasso. So I've been watching Ted Lasso. What else have I been watching? I've been watching. I watched.
Here it is.
Mission Impossible. 8. Final
so many.
recognizing.
Okay, so you got to explain this to me.
Okay,
so they had 2 Mission Impossibles.
How have you not seen this movie already?
Okay, because it's just
because you suck.
It's too much. So it was going to be part 1, part 2.
Listen, Mission Impossible. Go ahead. Go with your.
I'm trying to understand.
Proceed with your cross examination.
Okay. So, but they said, okay, we're doing 2 Mission Impossibles back to back.
Yeah.
We're filming them. Mission Impossible Part 1, Part 2. Mm-hmm. But then they kind of separated the Part 1, Part 2, and they just named them 2 individual movies. Correct?
Yeah. Instead of saying Dead Reckoning 2, they changed it to Final Reckoning.
So Dead Reckoning and then Final Reckoning. And is this the last Mission Impossible movie? That's
what all the pressers and the interviews and the movie suggests.
Okay,
that this is indeed the end of this
culmination.
It's a culmination Remember that part in? We're just going to sidebar for a second.
Yeah.
Hey! Remember that movie American Pie from 1999?
Oh yeah, I was totally with that.
And so there's a scene when the lacrosse coaches are giving a pep talk to the kids.
Yeah.
And so the main coach is like, "This is the culmination of your careers in high school." And then there's the assistant coach, and all he does is like repeat one word.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Culmination." So I always do that to people when I'm telling them stuff. So if someone's telling somebody something, I'll always go behind them and go,
chirping the words.
I'll just go say culmination. And nobody knows what I'm talking about.
No one's old enough to
remember that
reference.
Hank, so back to we're back.
Hi.
We're back to Dead Reckoning. Okay, I just want to say, and I've got a note about this because I said something controversial a couple episodes ago, and I'm going to renege what I said.
Just a flipper, eh?
I'm going to flip.
You're going to flip it up.
I'm going to flip.
Okay.
I'm going to say it, and it's not even close. I don't care what anyone says. The Mission Impossible movies are the greatest action franchise of all time. The greatest achievements in action on film ever produced. Tom Cruise is the greatest movie star in the history of movies.
I think that you'd be hard pressed to find a different one for that, honestly.
I'm telling you, man. So here's okay. You want me to debrief without too many spoilers?
No, yeah. It's still new enough. Let's avoid the spoilers. But overarchingly, were you satisfied as a Mission Impossible fanboy that you are?
Yeah.
Were you satisfied?
Fuck yeah.
If this is the last one ever,
yeah,
you're happy with it.
I'm happy with it.
Okay, that's good.
Okay,
right.
I will caveat with it's not a spoiler per se. It's just I'm talking about the structure of the movie a little bit because this is the final movie. The first hour, let's say, first 45 minutes, is very heavy on the exposition. A lot of explaining stuff.
And are we tying stuff back to the first movie? Like
they've tied to the first many movies.
Okay.
There's stuff. There's callbacks. You're like, no fucking way.
What about the the third movie? Was the best one?
The third one is not the best one. The third one is the second least best one. You know what? Here, actually, I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
It's got the best villain, but it's not the best movie.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see that. Yeah, I just like it because Philip Seymour Hoffman's in it.
Second best villain. He's a good villain. I like the guy, what was his fucking name? I don't remember the character name, but he was the Rogue Nation guy. He was the leader of the Syndicate.
Oh, the Bond.
Yeah.
The weird blonde staging. Yeah.
He was Ethan's equal and opposite.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I love that guy. Anyway.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
But then again, Henry Cavill in part 6.
Oh, he reloads those arms? Come on.
You know what? Yeah, anyway, Mission Impossible 3, second worst one. And that's not a knock on Mission Impossible 3. We're talking about the greatest
as you said,
franchise of action movies as a collective. It's like the top 7 are masterpieces.
Yeah.
And then there's a dog shit number 2 at the bottom of it's just dog shit at the bottom. Other than that, this is like to have that quality. And I would argue 3. So, okay, first off, I'm a very big fan of 1.
Yeah.
1 was a little different. It was like more espionage.
Yeah, it was more like the old TV show.
Yeah, it was more espionage, and everything else was more actiony, right? So I have an affinity for 1. A lot of people forget how good it is. So it's not even 1 through. I'm gonna say 1 through 7 because 8's just number 2 is just awful. But it's not even 1 through 7 for me. It's like 1 through 4, and there's like a 4-way tie for 4.
Okay,
or 3-way tie for 4 because they're all that good. Yeah. Anyway, so fucking good. Go see Mission Impossible.
The new Mission Impossible, the last of the reckoning.
The final reckoning. Anyway, I watched that.
It's good.
Yeah, loved it. Did I watch something else? What else did I watch? You go with what you've been watching, and I'll keep thinking.
Well, I'll split up to my TV show and a movie. I started watching 1888.
1888,
which is one of the prequels to Yellowstone.
Not interested. There's cowboys in it.
1881, 1888,
1883,
1880 something. The one with the country singers.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, Is
there cowboys in it?
It's all cowboys.
Yeah,
because it happens in the year 1880 something. Yeah,
your belt buckles look ridiculous.
Yeah, it's definitely what's his name? The Yellowstone guy.
Kevin Costner.
No, the writer guy.
Kevin Costner.
Okay.
No, Taylor Sheridan.
It's very much a Taylor Sheridan show.
Taylor Sheridan is the best writer right now in movies and television, but I don't want to watch the cowboy part show.
Yeah,
because like Lioness, is amazing.
Yeah,
and he's
no Cowboys.
No Cowboys.
Yeah, a lot of Cowboys.
Okay, go ahead.
But the movie I recently watched.
Yes,
I'm
so excited.
I don't know if you're going to hear about it.
Yes,
it's called Red Heat.
Red Heat.
Red Heat.
Are we talking about like the Schwarzenegger one?
Yeah, we're talking about the 1988 Red Heat. I've never watched it.
It's Schwarzenegger and who else? Is Jim
Belushi.
Jim Belushi?
And Belushi, yeah.
Man, hey, come on.
I know. I
just picked that off the ground.
Yeah, it was Belushi.
Hey, I'm an encyclopedia, fellas
and
ladies.
While dealing with my man cold, I saw it on the screen. I was like, you know what? I've never actually watched Red Heat. Let's watch it, and we'll come back and talk about it.
Okay, tell me. I remember. What do I remember about Red Heat? So they went to Russia. No, that's not Russia. I'm thinking of Black Rain, which is a Michael Douglas vehicle from 1988 or 89 action movie. Okay, yeah, I still think they go to Russia. Go.
So. 1988. It is the first American movie to film in Soviet Russia.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, just not a whole lot. They filmed a few scenes with Schwarzenegger in the Red Square, and that was about it. And, like all the actual like scenes that were to take place in Russia, they filmed in like Georgia and Austria. More for just weather reasons than anything. But yeah, first one to go there. Yeah, hey, you know what? It's not very good. At the end of the day, like I mean, so the director who did 48 Hours, standout movie, great movie, then came off the back and did this one, trying to kind of recoup it again, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger first. This is kind of up and coming before he hits the big time of it, but like he's like, oh, this guy's gonna be a fucking star. We need to get him front and center. And then he said, I want Belushi because I think he's hilarious. And so they made this buddy cop movie where Schwarzenegger plays a red Soviet police officer who's chasing Georgian drug dealers, because, of course, they're Georgians. And his partner gets killed in Russia, and the Georgians run to America, Chicago, to be exact, where Belushi's character is a cop. And so Schwarzenegger goes there to pick him up. Hijinks happen, right? And the Chicago cop and the Russian cop. So, firstly, they did everything they could to not allow Schwarzenegger talk Russian in that entire movie.
Yeah.
Because everyone always, in Europe, everyone always makes fun of him because his dialect of speaking is so like Southern Austria. It would be like us hearing a redneck person talk.
Okay.
So in Terminator, they dubbed over his entire lines with a different German speaker because Germans would just hear, right, I'll be all back now, yeah. Yeah, right? That's what they would hear. So it was ridiculous. So he had like 5 lines in Russian, and they had like another dude, partner of his, the Russian, who just spoke everything, who just spoke the entire time. He just stood there because. So
he did English, but he didn't do that.
So he did do the Russian, but it was obvious not great. And then he comes here. So I mean, the whole point of these stories, these buddy cop movies, right? They're both really good at something, right? Rush Hour. Jackie Chan, he's a fucking fighty, crazy, cool guy.
Yeah.
And Chris Tucker, he's the mouthpiece, but he knows the street. He knows how shit works. He gets the jobs done. He gets the deals, talks everybody out of it. They each have a thing they're good at.
Yeah.
In this movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a man who is Arnold Schwarzenegger who can chase people and shoot them and fight them. Belushi brings nothing to this, right? It opens him up. He is the smart ass cop that everyone hates.
Yep.
That he doesn't do, good work. So you're like, okay, they're kind of making him that, but he'll end up being like a really good, talker or a really good detective or something. No, nothing at all. He's wrong in every part of the investigation. Schwarzenegger gets it all right. Belushi does everything wrong. He pisses everyone off. He does the paperwork wrong. And he loses guys left and right. Like, he doesn't shoot well. Like, he has no redeeming quality as a character to make it a fun buddy cop because he brings nothing to it other than him just being a loud Jim Belushi. So it's not that funny. Arnold's just doing his Arnold thing. Bad guy's kind of boring.
How did you get to land on Red Heat?
I was just literally skimming through the movies on the TV, and it popped up, and I was like,
What service was this?
This was Prime.
Prime had Red Heat, eh?
I was like, you know what? I never watched it. The first.
I know the box art. They're both standing
they're
like
back
this.
to back. Yeah, back to back. Right. The first 5 minutes of the show, the opening, it takes place in a Russian bathhouse.
Okay.
And
bathhouses are creepy.
And just everyone's naked. Like chicks and dudes, and it's all steamy, and you get boobs and everything floating around. And they don't wear underwear. They wear a little tiny face cloth that's has a string wrapped around it. So the string goes around your back, so your ass is open.
As one does.
And the little face cloth just covers your junk. So the first scene is just Arnold marching in all his glory with his ass hanging out and just his man body muscles. And he walks through and he throws people out the window, and then he goes out in the snow and fights all these naked men together.
Nice.
Like, it's one of the gayest things I've seen in a long time, and everyone really committed to it, but it would have been really fun to watch the filming.
It's a fun fact. If you really want to watch a really good naked Russian bathhouse scene, fight scene, it's called, what was it called? It's Viggo Mortensen. East something? Was it East?
Where he plays the hitman. He does the thing.
Yeah, that thing.
He does the points himself in the neck.
That one right there.
Eastern Promises.
Eastern Promises.
Yeah,
that's a great bathhouse scene. Then they're all naked in that one. That's a great one.
He did fight naked. Who would you rather fight naked, Viggo Mortensen or Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Compared to their performances, I'd rather fight Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he didn't.
Viggo looked sick.
I think it hurt you.
Yeah.
As long as you dodge Arnold, you're okay. Yeah. So that's what I was watching. Red Heat. If you have nothing else to do and nothing else to watch,
then go watch Mission Impossible.
Go watch Mission Impossible. It does not stack up. What are you playing? You playing anything?
All right. Are you ready for this?
Oh, here we go.
So, I have I have an impulse problem.
I know you do.
Yeah, and so the Switch 2 came out the other day.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
It came out. And today I'm like, I'll just go look at it.
No.
And I drove 3/4 of the way, and I turned around and came home. I go, no, because I have an impulse problem, and I don't need it right now.
Good.
First off, because there's other reasons. Like my wife might be striking, and so we're going to have money problems. But I wanted to just look at it. But then I thought to myself, oh God, if you go there, you're going to buy it. You're going to try, and then you have to return it, and it's just like. I just turned around and went away. I'm like, I'm not even going to look at it.
Smart.
I'm just not even going to look.
That's a mature reaction.
Because I wanted to see the accessories and all that stuff that they came out with, too. Like, just I was wasting time, right?
Yeah.
I didn't do that. So I'm going to treat it as a royalty check party from one of my productions next year sometime, I think.
Okay.
What was I talking about? What I'm actually doing is reading still. Okay.
Oh, yes.
So I took a break on the Green Lantern. I'm going to finish that off still. Yeah. I'm still in the middle of the Blackest Night story. But I just kind of picked up my Kindle Scribe the other day because we both have a Kindle Scribe.
We do.
And so I started... so I remember I told you about that book called The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which is arguably the greatest mystery I've ever read. So I wanted to read this author's next 2 books. Here's what I like about this author. Usually an author gets a hit book and then they're like, oh, that sold lots of books. Okay, I'm going to write 18 sequels to this book, and that's going to be my writing career. Not this guy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Dean Koontz, if you're listening.
Yeah. Dean Koontz, Lee Child, Preston and Child.
Yeah.
I can go on.
Yeah.
So they like you go into it's just sidebar. Like you go on the Kindle store and every book you search, it's like here's the title and then in brackets a blank book one,
a so and so's book,
a so and so's adventure. Oh, fuck off.
Airport books.
Yeah. That's exactly that's a great way to put it. Airport books.
Yeah.
So this guy, what he's done with his next 2 books, he has created completely original worlds with completely original mysteries, and they're just fantastic. So I've read the 3rd one. The 3rd one was about, I got to tell you what it is about. It was called the Last Murder at the End of the World. Okay. So here's the setup. So this world, there's this black fog that has overtaken the world, and if you touch it, you die. And anything that's living, vegetation, animals, whatever, dead. Okay. And there happens to be this island near Greece where the world's most richest person, famous scientist, had her research base there, and they were able to come up with like some sort of force field.
Okay.
And so there are exactly 125 living souls left on Earth. Okay. And then it's weird though, because the 3 of them are taller, and then everybody else is like shorter. Like smaller people, okay? And all the small people only live 60 years. At 60 years, for some reason, they die.
Like midgets?
Not little people, but just smaller people. Okay. Anyway, they die at 60, and this lady teaches everybody all the culture, and they work and they do all the things to keep this research base afloat. That's what the people do, and they are completely submissive to these three people they call the elders, who are taller than them. And they have a bedtime. They go to bed at 10 o'clock every night, and they have no recollection of anything that they do overnight. But they always wake up with like dirt on them or injuries and all sorts of weird shit, and they have no idea, and they never question anything because they're completely submissive, except one person.
Yeah, so one
who's the curious one,
the Corbyn of the group.
She's like kind of smarter than everybody. And then what happens is one of these days a murder happens, and there's never been a murder. There's no crime here. And she's tasked with investigating this thing, and the remaining elders are getting her way all the time, and they're threatening to kill her if she gets to. And then she basically exposes the real situation going on this island.
Yeah, and
it's fantastic, just a cool ass setup.
And what's it called again?
It's called The Last Murder at the End of the World.
Okay. Yeah, it does sound cool. I think so. His trilogy, but they're all independent stories of each other.
All independent stories, original mysteries. Second one, I'm in the middle of it right now. It's called The Devil in the Dark Water. And I think our guest Kyle mentioned it, that he was finished that one. He liked. I told him about 7.5 Deaths, and he said, "Well, I like this Devil in the Dark Water." And so now I finally got to it. Same idea. So this is like a locked room mystery. Locked room meaning you're at one location where no one can get in or out. Okay, and so something seemingly impossible happens there, and you're like, well, what the hell? And so they're on it's in like the 1800s or some shit, and they work for the East India Company, and they're on a ship in the middle of the ocean, and shit goes down. Someone thinks that someone summoned this demon named Black Tom, who gives fortune to people who give sacrifices for him. And someone, again,
I love ship at sea stories.
Yeah, this
one's
really
just out like at that desolation.
Yeah,
it makes it so much scarier.
And they go into like how this ship works. Like it's really cool. Like I'm very interested in the life, whether it's true or not. In this book, the lifestyle of the people on this, because you remember people like East India Company was a real thing back in the day, and they had to do these trade routes from Amsterdam to various areas in the world, and they had their trade routes, and sometimes these people would be on sea at sea for 8 months at a time.
Yeah,
and so this one really digs into how life works day to day, what the societal structure is, how the crew versus the passengers dynamic is, what the real role of the captain is. Like, it's very interesting. And then on top of all that interesting shit is this mystery that's happening with a cool backstory. So,
what's the name of the author again?
His name is Stuart Turton.
Stuart Turton.
Turton. I'm telling you, all three of his books. I can't wait for his fourth. This is like, he's got a religious follower as far as Radical Apathy hosts are concerned.
Stuart Turton.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I am playing Splitgate 2 because I still play video games.
Splitgate 2. Well, I would have been playing video games if I would have bought a Switch 2.
No, I'm proud of you. You fought your...
No, I didn't. Listen, the only thing I would do... Side note, sorry. The only thing I would do is I would go sell the Switch 1, get the monies for it, sell...
You're not making money.
No, hear me out. I know someone right now I can sell it to for $300. What's a loss of $50? Big deal. And all those Nintendo cartridges that I have, that have games that I've completed, they haven't played since I beat them, those hold their value quite well. So I could sell those for a good point. And you
need to keep your Switch though when you buy the Switch 2, because you can sync them up before you're done. So it'll download all your saves and everything off where you're at.
Yeah.
So don't sell before you sell it.
Yeah. Next year,
Splitgate 2. Splitgate 2.
You know what? I love how you come here every week with a new game. Every week.
Yeah. It's almost like we're a fortnightly podcast, and people don't want to hear the same fucking story about every week.
Yeah, no, I know, but you're not doing it for the podcast. This is you actually doing it. Whereas, like, I will play like Resident Evil 4, and I'll beat it, and I'll be like, no, I'm getting all these, unlocking all this shit, and I'll replay it seven times.
I'm not an achievement hunter, and I'm still playing Oblivion on the side, but this one came out I mean, technically it comes out today, but it came out a couple days ago. But it's free. It's free to play.
Yeah.
It's just a team shooter.
Shooter.
6v6 arena. It's like if Halo 2, Quake Arena, and Portal had a baby. Basically, if those 3 games had a baby, this is what it is. You run around, you do little objectives, collect the flag, whatever, team deathmatch, domination. But each character can make portals as you run. So you press a button and you shoot at the wall and one portal, and you look at the other wall, you hit it again, and now you have a portal on 2 separate walls.
Nice.
And you can make it as far across the map as you want. So that just throws the dynamic into the combat right now. So using the mirror reflection, you can see through the portal, so you can shoot through the portal without going through it, and it just kind of adds it. You can put your portal over somebody else's so that they can't go anymore. Like, it just adds a nice competitive twist to it. Yeah. It makes it a lot of fun. And yeah, it just comes out today. It's free. If you like the quick shooter, like I said,
microtransactions.
Oh yeah, that's why it's free, because you can pay for all the skins and shit. But whatever, if it's just skin buying, I don't give a shit. Sure, because they got to make their money somehow. But as long as it doesn't affect the gameplay itself, we're good. And yeah, that's what it is.
That's something in my teeth.
I think it's just
like, you know how like sometimes you have like there's like a meat component to your lunch, and then just a little string of meat is stuck between your teeth.
No,
you've never had it before.
No, I brushed my teeth.
I literally just finished lunch and you walked to my door. Like, there was no time for that.
Okay. Yeah, preparation. Sure. Yeah.
Like, I got a little string of meat in my teeth.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: would you rather have a string of meat in your teeth, or would you rather watch one episode of The Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, I would rather have meat in my teeth for a whole week than watch that fucking show.
It's really annoying me right now. I might bring it up again.
I'm sure you're going to. That's really quick what I'm playing.
What you playing? What you watching?
Talking about going right into our gripes. Talking about those Western shows.
Yeah.
Do you ever have sympathy accents?
Sympathy accents. Is that where you listen to someone talk in an accent and you're just kind of like automatically adopt their accent?
It happens every time I watch a Western. Like, I'll watch a Western and then I'm going to talk with a Western accent for like an hour after.
I do that around English people, and I just kind of
you start slowly starts going, oh,
yeah,
right, I can't believe it.
Like, I just adopt their accent.
yeah.
So
you do it too. Sympathy accents.
Yeah.
I watched a Western and my wife called me on. She's like, "Why are you talking like that?" Because I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to have to go out and take that garbage downstairs here pretty quick." Yeah, getting pretty dangerous out there. Going to saddle up, ride out in the prairies. She's like, "What are you doing?
What are you?" That's not your real voice.
Talking like that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it just happens. I truly have no control over it.
That's better to do that in that setting than do it to the person, though, right to their face.
I'm sure I do. But now I'm thinking about it, like sympathy accents.
And so English is okay. The problem is, the problem is, okay.
Yeah.
By the way, we're going to play a game of Is It Racist after. So depending on, so you could do it to an English person, okay?
Yeah.
But like, let's say you run into someone else who's like a different race, and their accents are a little different when speaking English.
I did it 5 times in Thailand.
It becomes more racist. It becomes more racist.
But it's
you
hard.
Don't mean to.
You don't mean to.
You don't mean to. It just happens. Okay, let's play a game of Is It Racist? So here's what happened, okay? I was on Twitter /X the other day, okay? And someone posted a big rant, okay? I will say this person had played collegiate sports at a collegiate level, okay?
Yeah, that's college sports.
Here's the facts of the case.
Yeah.
Okay? Collegiate level athlete.
Yeah.
Okay? And it was a female.
Okay.
Okay? And they were like just rant tweet about how it doesn't matter what she was.
Sure.
She was just a rant tweet about something, okay? But like spelling mistakes, bad grammar, bad like no punctuation. So I just politely replied. Okay. I politely replied, "Hey, in college, did you happen to take an English composition course or no? Because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." Okay, so right on the surface, not racist.
Well, no. Why
right?
would you? Yeah.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Now, if I told you, the question is, if I told you, now keep in mind, I didn't know the race when I replied, okay? But now if I told you after the fact what the race of the person was, does it become racist?
I mean, if you knew the person wasn't in college and made a college joke, perhaps. But You know this is a college-playing sports person in college, and then you make a college joke.
Okay, now I will preface this by saying, by reading the tweet, you could infer what the nationality of the person was.
Yeah.
You could infer. I'm not saying, but you could be wrong.
Was it an English, like an American college?
It would have been an English-American college.
Okay. I think the joke still stands.
Okay,
I think it's a.
So if I tell you the nationality of the person,
sure.
Will you tell me if it's racist now? Okay, so they were African-American. Okay. Is it now racist?
I mean, I don't think so.
Because, like, Ebonics is a thing.
I think it's a...
Right?
Yeah, but I think it's a learning joke.
Am I now... It's a learning joke. It's not a racial attack.
Yeah. And I think it's what your intent was.
So I'm going to ask you one more time. Is it racist?
No.
Okay, good, because it wasn't intended to be racist. It was intended to be, hey, you're dumb. and speak proper English, you maniac.
I went to a doctor's office this week.
Yeah.
I wore a mask.
Okay, because you didn't want to infect others with your...
Yeah, because I'm hacking and coughing.
With, again, top 3 most deadly diseases on the planet.
Which people don't realize how hard it is to live with. Wear a mask. So I'm sitting in the waiting room of a doctor's office.
Okay.
I'm just sitting there looking at my phone.
Yeah.
And an old man walked up to me and didn't sit down.
Yeah.
And starts questioning me why I'm wearing a mask.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like an old white boomer dude.
I was going to say it's a Caucasian male.
Yeah, old white boomer dude who just says, why are you wearing that? It's not COVID anymore. Blah. It just starts going off. I didn't even talk to him. Mm-hmm. So I did what I usually do in those situations because I know old people like that, they crave the arguments. They crave the shit.
Yeah.
So I just did ASL. I just did sign language back to him, saying that I couldn't speak. I couldn't hear. And so I just did this, and he just stood there and looked at me for about 5 seconds, and then walked away.
and then the best part is you got called up, and then you're like,
and then you walked away. She goes, she's like, Tanner. I was like, oh yeah, right here. But fuck off! Like, what is this? What fucking here? Why are you coming up to random people talking to me? Yeah. So yeah, if you're ever in that situation, they want to argue with you.
How is that not your cold open?
No, that's true. That just happened. That was my grape.
That should have been your cold open.
They're just walking up to you.
Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, if you ever get that, just learn enough ASL that you can say that you can't hear.
Oh, even if you don't know,
that's true. Most people won't know.
I don't know. You could do anything. I'd be like, oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. So it's a secret one to get out of. You didn't buy a Switch 2. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Fucking Mario Kart World.
Yeah.
Arguably the only new game made for Switch 2.
Okay.
Arguably the brand new one just for that.
Okay.
Is 109 Canadian dollars to buy.
Incorrect. It's 115.
Oh my! What the fuck?
Yeah. And like
how is that even a thing?
Yeah, and here's the thing too. Even games they're reselling Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which was $80 and $90 respectively when they first came out, and all they've done is like graphical frame rate improvements or whatever.
A 7- and 4-year-old game. No,
and they are all
6- and 3-year-old game,
and they are also selling for $115.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but this is going to affect you more than it's going to affect
me. It is. I know it is. That's the problem.
All your games are going to be $115 now.
Yeah, and now that Nintendo's going to get away with it, Microsoft's going to be the fucking next one on the bandwagon.
PlayStation's going to try to do $120.
They're going to say, great. You're going to pay for this. I think this is going to bite them. I don't think Nintendo's always the asterisk in this world because they don't give a fuck about anybody or anything. They just do whatever they want. But Microsoft and PlayStation won't get away with it. I think people will shit enough beds about it.
And here's where I'm going to argue with you a little bit. I think they're going to push it more because the games those studios are producing at the AAA level cost way more than the ones that the Nintendo guys are making. So they're the ones who need that profit more than the Nintendo guys.
Yeah, but they also make an insane amount of money on their profits. But they're all...
Well, that's why they're called profits.
Right, and they're all money-pushed-driven people. So but I think they're going to come to an end. When you have games like Helldivers for $40 coming out and bringing in like 750,000 concurrent players over this last free update they did and just getting people jumping in for nothing, and you're going to now try and push another $120 PlayStation. Like, it's not going to hit. Like, there's enough indie market. I think it's going to push so much more people towards the indie market that they're going to outprice themselves off of it. Like, I don't Nintendo, whatever. Nintendo's going to do what they're going to do, but I don't think Microsoft and PlayStation can fall through this. And they're going to try.
And you know what? Those Nintendo games, especially the first party Nintendo games, never have ever gone on. You can, like, the launch title for the Switch was Breath of the Wild on the Switch 1.
Yeah.
And you still cannot get that at a discount. It's still $80.
Yeah. The zombie game for the Wii U called Zombie U, which was a launch title.
Yeah.
You still can maybe buy it for $30. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking like a $4 game anywhere else.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it wasn't that good of a game. But just because, yeah, you're right. It's just Nintendo has its own weird cosm of price and reaction. I don't get it, but Microsoft and PlayStation can't get away with it. They're going to try, but I don't think they're going to win.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, going back to it, like, you'll see what happens in the new year. I mean,
they're going to try for sure, but I think it's going to bite.
Maybe it'll course correct by 8 months from now. You know, you never know, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. So it was announced. I've got a dilemma. It was announced.
Put some cream on it.
Next year, Avengers Doomsday is releasing the same day as Dune 3.
Yeah.
What the fuck do I do?
They're going to do another Barbenheimer situation.
Now, here's the thing. I'm obviously going to go to both movies at the same night. Right. But if I had to choose, which is the game we're going to play right now, is what do I do?
They're both going to be 3-hour movies. Do you think you will have time to do both? You have to do a matinee.
How can you ever have time if you never make time?
I mean, like, physically, how they post.
There'll be a 4 o'clock Thursday showing, and I'll go to the 9 o'clock if I have
whatever.
to. Yeah, I'm in.
Okay. Should we plan for that?
Like 2 years in advance? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, my son's going to come with me.
Well, I don't care who comes, as long as you don't throw me out again.
I'm not going to throw you out. Listen, so what happened?
No, it's fine.
Okay,
It's fine.
So here's what happened. Thunderbolts, my kid, we had a standing plan to go to Thunderbolts, but my kids both said, Dad, we really want to go to Thunderbolts. What am I supposed to do? I didn't want you and 2 of my kids there because I didn't think you would enjoy the movie as much because my oldest son doesn't shut the fuck up during movies and my young one is just kind of up, down, stands up, sit down. So I'm like, I was doing you a favor.
Whatever excuse you need to avoid my friendship will help you. That's fine.
Listen, I don't think it's like that.
But yeah, I saw that as well. Which one? The question is, I know you're going to go to both at the same time. Which one are you going to see first?
I think.
Okay, you got to look at the ebb and flow of this movie, right? Like how it's going to set.
Okay, so and we know how much I revere Dune, but I think I go see Doomsday first.
Okay,
for 2 reasons: 1, to avoid all spoilers, and 2, because I've already read the book based on what this next Dune movie is.
Yeah, so
less chance of spoilers coming my way.
Okay.
So I rather go to the one where I can just see the story first.
Now I'm gonna do the exact opposite of you for a different reason.
Okay.
I think you got to go Doomsday first. No, Dune first.
Dune first,
because you don't know the story, and it's a very deep narrative, subjective show. Right? There's the circumstance, the pomp of all the spaceships and everything, but like. There's a lot of metaphor in Dune. Mm-hmm. And I think if you watch a 3-hour movie and then you go back into a 3-hour movie at 10 o'clock at night, you're going to miss it. So I think Dune, the more cerebral of the movies, go to first. And then this movie that you, like you said, you already kind of know the story, Doomsday.
No, I don't. I already know the story of Dune. I've read the book.
Oh, but I mean, it's a Marvel movie, right? You're going to Marvel. You're going to see
but I don't know. I don't know any of the context, like the story they're basing it on for the Marvel comics.
Yeah.
Like I'm completely blind on this one.
Okay, but that's why I think you should go that one last because it'll be more explosive in Marvel and the music, and I think that one will keep you awake better.
Yeah, I'll be awake. Okay. I'll be awake either way.
Right.
You sound like I'm like 90, and I can't handle 2 movies.
You know, okay.
Actually, me and our good friend Allie, we might be doing a double feature horror flick thing this weekend.
Oh, which ones?
So there was a horror movie that came out from 2 Australian directors 2 years ago called Talk to Me. And so they're doing, it's their follow-up horror movie called Bring Her Back. Okay. And so I'm like, hey, we should go bring her back. And she's like, yeah, I'm in. I'm like, it's the Talk to Me people. And she's like, yep, I'm in. And then I looked a little deeper and I saw this review on IGN about this other horror type movie. It's more of a creature feature.
Yeah.
Okay. Called Dangerous Animals.
And Jai Courtney.
Yeah, with Jai Courtney. I haven't seen any of the trailers or anything, but it's, I've got an affinity for shark movies.
Yeah.
And it's a creature feature shark movie. And I'm like, I kind of want to see that too.
And Jai Courtney's fucking jacked in the trailer too.
Is he really?
Holy shit! I took me a while. Like, who is that? I'm like,
so we talked about talked about doing a double feature this week.
Okay. I like that. Do you have any more other gripes?
Gripes. Okay, so it's not a gripe. It's just another thing.
Okay.
Remember I told you I might have changed my mind on something again, or I'm going to renege on something I said? So
sure.
A couple episodes ago, maybe a handful, dozen, or whatever, I don't know, 6 episodes ago, I said, that's it. I go, we have to update our minds to like modern movies. And so I named Captain America the Winter Soldier my new favorite action movie.
Yes, you did.
I'm going to take that back today.
Just the flip-floppiness continues. But go on.
Yeah. Okay. First off, I think we have to start considering best action movies of all time without including T2, Aliens, or Die Hard.
Because they're too good.
Because they're just too good.
Okay.
And so I'm going to go with Mission Impossible 6 Fallout.
Okay,
that's going to be my new favorite one.
That's the first one with Superman.
That's the Henry Cavill one. Yeah. It may be the perfect action movie.
I just watched it recently. Great movie.
Yeah.
Now, but is that letting things off too easy? If we take away T2, Aliens 2, Die Hard, and we're just because they're so good, but is that just letting all these other movies off easy? Because no one's stepping up to the plate.
Put it this way. If it was like 30 years from now, we would then have the nostalgia for Fallout that we have for T2, Die Hard, and Aliens.
Okay.
I think part of the reason we hold those three so dear, yes, they're good, but is because we have this nostalgia for them. Newer movies you don't have the nostalgia for because they're just new. So I'm going to say like 20, 30 years from now, I'm going to be like, no, man, Fallout was pretty damn good.
Yeah. I mean,
and let's face it, on a technical level, looks amazing. I like first off the practical effects from Die Hard, really good. Aliens, same thing because they all use the real puppets and everything. T2, I mean those CGI effects are getting a little dated.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're going to look back. If I go show my grandkids 30 years from now, let's watch all these in succession. There's a good chance they're going to go, Mission Impossible.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I just there's a lot of them, so you're gonna get lost in the weeds a little bit, right? There's, I mean, like Aliens 2 that stands out on its own, even though it's a sequel, because it's very different from Alien, right?
I got this meat string in my tooth. It's just bugging me.
I'm just sucking on Fishman's Friends. So I'm the mouth ASMR for this one's gonna be good. Yeah, people's gonna really enjoy this. You sickos, you sick people. I get that you want to suck on the toes of Tom Cruise, and I support you in that, Corbyn. I think an 8-movie syndication is going to bury the lead. Right? People are going to say Mission Impossible is awesome, which is true.
Yeah, but
they're not going to be like 7, 5 was the best one. They're going to say Die Hard's a fucking awesome movie. Is what they're going to say.
And here's why they're not going to say that.
Because no one says Die Hard a Vengeance. Like, no one says, when people say Die Hard, they're not talking about the 9 movies that came after Die Hard, right? They're talking about Die Hard, right? That movie.
Right, but so they're making a conscious decision about the best in a series.
Because it's not even close. But Mission Impossible is close.
Yeah. But that's it. Just the quality. That's still the best. Okay. Best action franchise of all time.
Yeah.
Okay. Give the flowers to the old 3 movies we just talked about.
Yep.
Best action franchise. You're going to have to do a hell of a job to ever upend Mission Impossible.
I can hear a lot of listeners right now either vigorously supporting you or vehemently yelling at you.
Yeah, and what are they yelling?
I know, that's what I want to know. I want people to tell us.
Because here's the thing, even if you go like John Wick, and I'll go, well, one is fantastic, 4 is pretty good. 2 and 3 the story was a mess.
They're
right?
fine. I don't remember them. Do you remember them?
No, I don't remember what they were about.
I remember 1 and 4.
Yeah, exactly. I remember 1 and I remember 4.
Yeah.
Right? So let's just play devil's advocate. What challenges it to go?
Right. Well, that's what we want to ask of the audience. So they tell us what is or is not going to make it over that hump.
All right. Well, I'm asking you really quickly. If you had to pick a franchise to rival Mission Impossible, what is the one you would pick? And you can't say all the Marvel movies. That's not a thing.
No, I probably the closest relevancy would be like a Bond series.
Yeah.
Right?
And I would even say like the last 5 Bonds.
Yeah, just the Daniel Craig's Bonds.
Bonds.
Yeah, Daniel Craig's Bonds.
Okay, that's a fair assessment.
To find the rivals for it.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah. I probably, I don't know, as much as I'm a much bigger 007 fan than I'm a Mission Impossible fan. Mm-hmm. However, Daniel Craig's Bonds compared to the Mission Impossible series, I'd probably also go Mission Impossible series. Just all of it together.
And Tom Cruise, man.
Yeah, that guy's fucking
Cruise.
Fucking weird. I have a Phantom Pooper update.
Oh, I'm so excited. Did you catch them?
Those of us who are just joining, I've been chasing the Phantom Pooper in my building for months now. This individual, we use the public bathrooms in our lobby, demolish them in a way that the word demolish does not have enough meaning behind it.
Unbecoming of a normal shitter.
Yeah, it's intent, right? I'm not making fun of somebody for having a bad bowel movement. We've all been there, but there's intent here. This is intent to use a public washroom to vandalize the use of a toilet.
Do you know what just popped into my head?
What?
I popped into my head is that someone's like hovering about 2 inches above the toilet bowl, and then they're gyrating their pelvis to try to get every edge of
off the toilet. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, you're right. So I've been chasing this person for a while.
Yeah.
Last time I saw the shoe as they were getting on the elevator.
That shoe. Did you find the shoe?
New Line Base. Yeah. So anyway, I was doing a night shoot. And I had a break. I went back to my condo to go grab some stuff. I'm talking like 12:30 at night.
Okay.
I'm walking towards the elevator. The public bathrooms are right by the elevator. Door closes. I hear the bathroom door close. And I'm like, you motherfucker. I'm like, perfect. And there's like a couch right beside the elevator that like stares at the bathroom door. So I said, I'm going to run to my room.
Were you still in wardrobe?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to run to my room. I'm going to grab my stuff. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to sit on this fucking couch. And I'm going to wait for this person to come in.
Why'd you go up? Why didn't you just wait down there?
Because I had to get what I was getting. So I run into the room. Grab it. I come back down. And the bathroom door is open. And let me tell you. The Phantom Menace struck back, my friend. It was, in fact, the Phantom Pooper.
Yeah.
There was poop under the sink.
Under the sink?
Under the sink.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, the sink is far away from the toilet.
At least 5.5 feet. Yeah, there's poop under the sink. So okay, we got to look at it positively. So we have identified now the time in which the Phantom Pooper uses the bathroom.
Yeah.
Late night shits. Okay, late night shits, which confirms that they live there. Mm-hmm. Confirms as an old person.
Does it though? Because you've had problems with kids breaking into your place.
Yeah, kids don't do this in their bowels, but no, there was no kids there for sure. That problem's been dealt with. But I know that because yesterday, my wife and I were just walking around and doing some cleaning, and I saw one door was closed and one door was open on the bathroom. And so I went by and I heard someone in there. I heard noises. And so just to scare them a little bit, I was just going to jiggle the handle. You know, sometimes you jiggle the handle, the locked handle on the door. Just give a little scare, right? Let them know that someone's outside. Let them know they're not alone.
Yeah.
Right? But the person didn't
let them know that you're on deck.
Yeah. Someone's coming, right?
Yeah.
But the person inside didn't lock the door. And so I just opened it, and it was a young dude who was in his 20s, but he was like washing his hands. He was done, and opened the door, and I'm like, oh, hey man. He's like, hey. I'm like, all right, you done? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, good. Take off.
So he didn't belong to the building.
I think he was a friend of someone who lived there.
Oh.
But either way, no, get the fuck out of here. So not youths. Confirmed late night pooper.
Well, this actually eliminates some. What time was that at?
12:30.
Okay, so this eliminates a bunch of people, and I'll tell you why. Because a lot of those people are quite elderly in your building.
Yep.
And so can we confidently say some of this is quite past the bedtime of some of the people that are there?
Yeah, but then you're dealing with insomnia, gut issue. I don't know why, or they're waking up just to do it, just to spite me.
Under the sink. What the fuck?
The fans of Pooper, we will
meet again.
We'll find you.
We'll get you. We got you.
Any more? Do you want to go on to Jazzy Delights?
No, I'm good. Let's do Jazzy Delights.
So for everyone, what we're going to do now, Jazzy Delights, you're going to hear some soft jazz as Corbyn and I test out a new product and let you know what our thoughts are. Let's get into it.
I love jazz music too.
All right, thank you for joining us on Jazzy Delights.
Jazzy Delights.
Here with Corbyn today. My name is Tanner.
I'm still Corbyn.
And I'm still Tanner Corbyn. We have a product from Nestle. And it's called Nestle Drumstick. Now, for those of you cats who might know, the drumstick ice cream cone was a flavor of many of us in our youths growing up. And one of the nicest things about the drumstick cone, Corbyn, do you know what it was?
It was the chocolate inside. Oh, with the chocolate bottom
at the base of the cone.
At the bottom of the cone.
And Nestle finally has decided to make a crunchy handheld treat of just the chocolate basement cone.
Sounds pretty sweet.
We're going to test it here now. Let you guys know what we think. Corbyn,
I'm going to take one now. This is a genius idea, by the way.
Cheers to you, sir.
Cheers to your cone. Here we go.
Crunchy.
That's pretty close to the real thing.
That is pretty close. Don't mind that. Corbyn, I have 7 saxophones. How many saxophones would you give this delight treat?
That's like, I was like, it's missing that cream component a little bit, that melted ice cream. That's about three and a half saxophones.
Yeah, I was going to give 4 saxophones out of 7. It's the drumstick.
Out of 7?
Yeah, out of 7 drumsticks.
I thought it was out of 5.
No, it was out of 7.
Out of 7 drumsticks, I'll give it 4.
7 saxophones.
7 saxophones. 7. I'm losing track of the game.
Yeah, that's I'm going to give 4 out of 7 saxophones.
Out of 7.
Thank you for joining us.
All right.
Jazzy Delights. Nestle Drumsticks.
You cats keep cool.
We'll talk to you later. And that's going to probably take us into our...
those guys were cool.
They were cool, weren't they?
Yeah.
I would hang out with them. I would hang out with them. If you let us know if you like our Jazzy Delights section where we test out some food. Let us know if there's food you want us to test out.
I'm kind of mad we didn't do wine and Twinkies over jazz music.
I know.
A while back.
We're a growing show, right? We develop and come out. So if you guys want to hear more Jazzy Delights, and like I said, if you have stuff you want us to try,
I want to try more Jazzy Delights.
Yeah, let us know. We'll go get to it.
Is it that time?
It's gonna be that time for a little segment that everyone loves.
Top 5. And we're back. And this week is Tanner's list.
Well, that's me.
So just to recap how this works, one of us comes up with a top 5 list category, and we both come up independently with our own lists. We don't communicate what they are to each other, and we reveal them one at a time. Now, if by chance, and this is where it gets really saucy, if by chance we have the same selection at the same number, we celebrate and shake hands.
It's a celebration.
It's a tradition like none other. It is the top 5.
I have top 5 conspiracy theories.
Oh, I like this.
And if you believe them or not.
I know. I got some good ones. I've got a couple tried and trues, but I think I got a couple ones that you're going to be like, oh, yeah.
I tried to mix it up, too.
All right.
Yeah, tried to keep it a little steady as we kind of go. You're going to start us off, Corbyn, with
number 5. Okay, now this is going to get deep because this is one I've created myself. Okay?
Oh.
This is called the NBA draft conspiracy theory. Okay? All right, so here's what happened. Okay? So earlier in this year, on February 2nd, there was a trade in the NBA. Okay? The arguably greatest player of 25 years or younger, named Luka Doncic, was traded away from his team, the Dallas Mavericks, to the largest market in the NBA, which is the LA Lakers. Okay? And they got a guy back and then some other pieces. Okay, that doesn't neither here nor there. The point is, when I saw the tweet the first time on February 2nd, I go, "Oh yeah, that's not real." That's the first thing I said. And then I looked at everybody else on the internet and I told my buddy about it. He goes, "Yeah, that's not real. Someone's hacked this guy's account." And he's the guy who tweeted as the NBA's most prominent reporter. He breaks all the news. Okay. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fake. He's got it hacked." And then later, about 5 minutes later, he posted another one with his face and a video. He's like, "I have not been hacked. This is real." And you're like,
everyone lost their minds. Everyone said he was hacked.
Everyone lost their minds because this kind of trade doesn't happen. Nobody trades a superstar, not a good star, a superstar at age 25 with years of team control away to another team and get, like, just nobody does that. Okay. Here's where it gets even more conspiratorial. Okay. It comes out the next day that the team that had Luka Doncic, the Dallas Mavericks, didn't call a single team around the NBA other than the Lakers. Okay? If you have the greatest commodity up for grabs, and it could be sports or anything. Let's say I've got something that everybody wants.
The best butter.
The best butter in the world. Okay? And you want to get the best price for it. You go to one seller or one buyer, or you go to a bunch of buyers and see what they're going to offer, and you take the best deal from a bunch of buyers.
Yeah.
He did not in this case. He went to one team and he offered this thing. So now, here's the backstory, okay? Huge story this year leading up to this, okay? NBA season starts late October, early November. Ratings are down historically. This is the least watched NBA season in like 15 years. Okay? And this trade happens, and all of a sudden, shit sparks up, and people are like, "Huh?" And people start watching, and the ratings go up. Okay? So that's the first part of the conspiracy. Okay? That's the first part of the conspiracy. Second part of the conspiracy is that, and this is interesting because, again, trades like this don't happen. We're talking about the greatest player. There was no package you can get back for this kid that would have been acceptable, except for maybe one. Or there's like maybe one player I would trade for this guy, and but that's neither here nor there. Okay. Are you following along so far?
Totally with you.
Okay. All right. Now, here's the further conspiracy. Okay. They make this trade. So the Dallas team trades him away.
Yep.
Okay. And the next day I said to my buddy, I texted him, and I said, "I'm guaranteeing you that the Dallas Mavericks win the NBA draft. They win the draft lottery. So every year, the worst teams in the league get put into this pool, and based on how you finish from the worst to the 12th worst or whatever, you have a percentage of chance to win the number one pick in the NBA draft for the following year. And there just happens to be a generational talent who is coming up for grabs this year at the NBA draft." And I said to my buddy, I go, "Watch." I go, "This is all fucking rigged." I go, "I bet you Dallas wins the NBA draft." Okay? Coming into the NBA draft lottery, the Dallas Mavericks had exactly a 1.8% chance of winning. And guess what happened?
No way.
They fucking win.
No shit.
Okay? So here's my conspiracy theory. The commissioner, who sees that his team, or not his team, his league is tanking across the nation. And when you get bad ratings, you can argue that, well, I've got a TV contract for like 10 years. We're probably fine. But when your advertising revenue goes down because nobody's watching your product, then that's a problem. So I'm guaranteeing you, this is my conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Commissioner of the league calls the Dallas Mavericks and says, "Hey, you trade that guy to the biggest market in the world to go play with LeBron James."
Yeah.
Again, to go play with LeBron James, by the way. Did I leave that out? Fuck. Anyway, he goes, "And I'll give you the number one pick in the NBA draft. I will rig the lottery, Because here's the best part, the lottery. So here's how it works. You've got X amount of percent to win. And that, so there's X amount of lottery ball combinations. Okay. And they draw balls. And whatever lottery combination comes up, that's who gets the first pick.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's all done behind closed doors, away from the media. Okay.
Which is always a good sign.
Which is always a really confident sign of a really smooth process. And so, again, the Dallas Mavericks win the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. Now, one singular incident of suspicious activity does not a conspiracy make.
Correct.
However, this goes back deep. 1985. Knicks are in the draft. They got a terrible team. There just happens to be this generational center who's from the New York area. Okay?
Yeah.
Who's going to be the number 1 pick, whoever gets him. New York lands the number 1 pick. Patrick Ewing. Bam. Done. Okay? Fast forward. There's a couple of ones in the media in the middle. I think there was one in the early 2000s. I forget who it was. Oh, that's right. Cleveland. Cleveland. Nobody plays in Cleveland. Nobody. Okay? They're in the draft lottery. Okay? And there just happens to be this generational player by the name of LeBron James who's from, I don't know, Ohio. And Cleveland wins the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. Okay. 2009, same thing. Chicago kid in Chicago. Chicago wins the NBA draft. Okay? Let's fast forward a little later. Okay? 2018 or 19, I forget what it was. Or no, 2020, I think it was. Anyway, LeBron James up and leaves Cleveland, goes to the LA Lakers.
Yeah.
Okay. And he needs a person to play with because his Laker team that he's on sucks balls. And that's the face of the league. And you need him to be good.
Yeah.
Okay. And he wants to play with Anthony Davis. Okay. Anthony Davis is the best player, young player at the time on a team. It's kind of the same idea as this Luka Doncic thing. Okay. All of a sudden, New Orleans trades Anthony Davis to the Lakers, gets a bunch of fucking spare parts back. Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Oh, shit.
Like some draft picks and some stuff. And guess what? There just happens to be this generational player who's in the draft, and New Orleans gets the number 1 pick. And they skip selected. So my point is, this is a continued
Yeah.
track record with the. This is my own. It's here's the.
We should have done the podcast just on this.
Now the reality of it is this. Okay, the reality of it is this. Okay, things that happen 1.8% of the time sometimes happen 1.8% of the time.
Sure.
Okay. Another fact. Okay, there's a 200-year-old accounting firm that's in the room when the draft lottery balls are selected that ensure the integrity of the process. I'm sure they're not going to risk their reputation by rigging the draft 6 times or whatever I just mentioned.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's not. But the conspiracy Corbyn says this is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's number 5. I'm sorry it took so long.
That's
one.
good.
It's one I invented myself.
I like that one. And what do you call it? What's the title of that conspiracy?
It's called it's Luka Logic.
Oops, yeah, well, I like that. The Luka Logic.
And if you're an NBA fan, you're welcome for that education.
Well, mine's a little more laissez compared to that one.
Yeah. We didn't get the same one? We're not going to shake on this?
No, we're not going to shake on this one.
Okay.
But I wanted to go with a basic bitch one to get out of the way for my number 5.
Yep.
Number 5. We both did it at the same time. Chemtrails.
Chemtrails. Tell me more.
Chemtrails, also known as SLAP, or the Secret Large-Scale Atmospheric Program.
Okay.
This theory alleges that the water condensation trails, or contrails, on aircraft as they fly through the air. See those white marks that come off planes and they're high up in the sky? That's just condensation white trails that come off airplanes.
Okay.
So what they're saying is they consist of chemical or biological agents that contain a supposedly toxic mix of aluminum or strontium or barium, and it's all done under a secret government policy. And it's estimated that 17% of people globally believe this theory to be true. And in 2016, the Carnegie Institute of Science published the first ever peer-reviewed study of the chemtrail theory. Mm-hmm. And 76 out of 77 participating atmospheric chemists and geochemists all stated they have never, ever seen any evidence to support chemtrail theory. or stated that it has any type of sampling to even look into. So it is one, but it's a fairly common one. People always talk about
what do they think the chemicals are trying to do?
So everything under the sun, everything from changing our biology to make us more passive, to go to the governments, some chemtrail, some to the extremes to make us gay. You know, the gay frog thing, that's because the chemtrails to drop and make the frogs gay.
Okay.
Where it comes from. Or, just to make us more docile and easier to kind of control. Or to, like COVID, the people who said COVID is actually released from chemtrails by the governments to try and take them over. So, fairly common.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, chemtrails. So, a contrail is just water condensation off of an airplane's wings as it flies through the air. But people see it and assume that it's chemicals being dropped on the populace.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Number 4. All right, my number 4 is one that is just this is just common. This is probably on your list, but it's the JFK assassination.
Okay.
Very interesting. I'm not going to go into. Everyone knows about the JFK assassination, but the idea, is like he's driving, someone shoots him. There's a big dispute as to where he shot from. Is it shot from the library or whatever that place was?
Back into the left.
Or was he shot from someone on the grassy knoll?
Yeah.
The only time anybody in the world has ever used the word knoll before. and then there's the conspiracy theory about our good friend Jack Ruby, the titty bar owner, who comes in and he just walks into the secure underground garage where the police are transporting suspected suspect Lee Harvey Oswald, and shoots him in the gut and kills him.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, okay. And then it's just interesting.
Do you believe it? Is the back of his
some
questions?
people believe this is a CIA thing. Some people believe it's maybe a Cuban assassination. I don't think the Cubans had their shit together back then. But do I believe it? That's a loaded question, because believe it. What is it? There's 4 different things that you'd have to, like, you know what I mean? Do I believe that?
I guess, do you believe that it was Lee Harvey Oswald acting alone, who then got shot by an angry another person who happened to have ties to the organized crime, who then went to jail? Do you think the narrative as pushed forward is legit?
Here's what I think. I think gun technology back then was like not amazing. Okay, and we're talking about a really fucking hard shot, whether it's from the observatory or from the grassy knoll. You know what I mean? What I believe is there had to be 2 people involved, just as a backup plan.
Yeah,
because I just think that's an incredibly hard shot to make with a moving target.
So my only counterance then is a 19-year-old kid got in through a security site like this year, climbed up onto a trailer with a sniper rifle under sniper rifle guard and shot the president of the United States.
Okay, I think that's also a conspiracy theory.
Okay,
because I don't think that happened. I think that was all planned.
Okay, so that's what I mean. Like I guess
because that bullet didn't hit it grazed his ear, but it didn't hit anybody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you believe that there is a conspiracy? I guess the conspiracy theory of the JFK assassination.
Yeah.
Do you believe that there is merit to it? I guess is the back-end question.
Yes, I believe that everything that I don't think it's answered yet. Put it that way.
Yeah.
And here's the fun fact. So the files for the JFK assassination are to be released. I think it was in early 2013 or 20 something like that.
Yeah.
And here's the thing people don't understand. They're like, well, it was released. Well, no, it's not, because when you have a file like that with the FBI, every time you get even a little bit of new information, then that is a new file, like it's added to, and then that is reclassified again. Yeah. So nobody has really seen all of the files. Yeah. So I think there's some meat on the bone there.
Okay. Number 4. Sticking with the chemtrails, I decided to go with the weather and earthquake control.
I don't know what this is either. So, like, people think they can create earthquakes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, there's lots. So, numerous theories pertain to the real or alleged weather controlling projects. So, they include the debunked association from HARP, which is an actual the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, which is an actual government agency. So it's like a radio technology research program funded by the U.S. government. So what they're saying is this HARP team is a secret weather controlling system, and they blamed Hurricane Katrina, 2024's Helena and Milton, all on HARP. They say HARP also has been suggested to have the ability to cause earthquakes, like 2010's Haiti and 2011's earthquake in Japan that caused a tsunami.
To what end? Just to destabilize governments, or
right? And that's kind of always the back end question for a lot of these, right? So they also say that HARP has the ability to control minds.
Are they controlling your mind right now?
Right. And they can control cloud seeding technologies to do certain types of clouds when they can. Like there was they blame fog off a big disaster that happened in England in 1952, and anyway, so they claim all these things. They caused the 2010 Pakistani floods. So every natural earth. So instead of just having hey guys, humans are fucking up the planet, and Mother Earth is freaking out, they just say no, it's actually the government doing things for nefarious reasons. But yeah, again, it's usually a lot of these just come back to they do it either to shift focus of the public away from one thing so the government can kind of control what's bad and what's going on. Because if there's a big bad like Hurricane Katrina, everyone's focused on that and no one's watching what the right hand is doing over here. Is kind of the back end of this. So they're using it to control and kill whoever they want, but then also to kind of control the geopolitics of the world.
That's
with weather controlling. Yeah.
Right.
Very conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 3.
So is it a conspiracy theory or is it more of a unsolved mystery? I'm going to throw it into conspiracy theory. Okay. And everyone knows, because I mentioned it earlier in this podcast, I have a fascination with sea creatures.
You do?
I do. And so the Loch Ness Monster comes in at number 3.
Conspiracy theory for Loch Ness Monster. Okay, walk me through it.
Well, conspiracy theory, because the conspiracy theory is that it exists or it doesn't exist. And I mean, it's one of those classic situations like the Bigfoot film back in the day. There's like one really good shot of like a photo of it, but the photo's from like 1960. You know what I mean? Like we got the photo of the Bigfoot walking, and then you got the photo of and it's the most famous one of the Loch Ness Monster of some head coming out of the water. Yeah. And they've done so many experiments. There's been so many searches for it, but it's an unsolved mystery. There's no answers for it. Like other than it doesn't.
Other than they don't exist.
Yeah. But I find it fascinating. I don't know. To me, it's a conspiracy theory just because nobody can agree on it.
Sure, yeah.
I love it. I love the idea of a secret monster somewhere.
Yeah, they're unproven theories that people keep pushing forward. So, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah,
Did I break the rules?
No, I think that stands.
Okay.
Number 3.
3 for you.
The New World Order.
The New World Order.
The New World Order.
I haven't heard of any of your conspiracy theories.
These are like popular ones.
I haven't heard of them.
The New World Order theory states that a group of international elites control all the governments, industry, and media organizations in the world, establishing a global hegemony.
What?
No, nothing?
What?
Yeah. So they're alleged to be implicated in the most of the major wars that happened.
Are we talking like the Freemasons or some shit?
Like sort of. So, so the New World Order is connected. Like they've been connected to a lot of like the Illuminati, Jewish people, including world governments, NGOs like the World Economic Forum, the Bohemian Grove, the Lay Circle, the Skull and Bones, the Freemasons. People say that Beyonce and Whitney Houston are members. Mm-hmm. Prominent theorists, they always kind of come into it and say that there is this secret group of not just a government, but of special people all around the world who truly control everything and make the decisions of everything and choose what wars happen and who needs to die, what's successful, what's not. That we're all basically just at the whim of this global hegemony.
I don't think that, because I think one person's greed, it can be so big and power hungry that nobody can keep the secret.
I agree.
Yeah.
This is an easy way to blame your life's problems on other people.
Yeah, for sure.
Just say, "Oh, well, it was the secret organization that did it." It's like, no, you're just a terrible fucking father, right? It's just I think it's just an easy way to avoid blame on shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the popular one. That's the one that also leads into like the lizard people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
They're all lizard people.
Lizard people.
Yeah.
Like V.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's this crazy dude in London called David Icke, and he's one of the biggest pushers of conspiracy theories in our day and age.
Okay.
And he's a fucking nut job, but he writes a lot of books, and he gets a lot of people listening to him. And so he's a big pusher that, like, 500,000 years ago, these aliens came and took over a bunch of humanity, and they were the lizard people.
The Skrulls.
Yeah. And then they basically took over, and they're the ones running the secret government.
All right, that's fucked.
Yeah, it is.
All right, number 2. We're on 2 now. Two is number 2.
We're hitting it out of the park today.
All right, this is a fun one. Okay. The supposed death of Paul McCartney.
Oh.
Have you heard of this one?
He's still alive, though, correct?
Yes. So in I want to say, I have to remember. It was 1966. There's a thing that where they believe that Paul McCartney got in a fight with the band, and he got into a fiery car crash and died. Okay, and then they didn't want the heartache of the because they're so popular. They didn't want the heartache with the people to happen, and so in conjunction with MI6, they found a lookalike. Okay, and they simulated him into the band, secretly known as Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney.
Yeah, fake Paul.
Okay.
Fake Paul McCartney. Okay. And then they believe that the conspiracy theorists, guys. Yeah. So they believe that they have then seeded hints into their music and album covers to suggest that this is a fake Paul.
Okay.
So I mean, I didn't want to read it all or whatever, but so for like, there's this one album cover where I think it was Abbey Road or something, and they're walking across a crosswalk.
Abbey Road, yeah.
And for instance, Paul is, so everyone's dressed up, but Paul is in like his underwear or some shit. And so they're like, oh, it's a sign of someone who would have death or whatever. Oh. Whereas the others were representing like a mortician and a gravedigger and other things, where he was representing death. And then he had a cigarette in his left hand when he was very clearly right-handed. So they're like, that's mysterious. And then there was like song lyrics and stuff where they referred to Paul's alive or Paul's dead or something like that. And so people are like, oh, this is bullshit. And there's like lots of lyric examples.
Yeah.
And then one of the bigger examples was, what was it again? Oh, I forget. Anyway, long story short. Anyway, so Paul himself.
And so all of this is done just to stop people from being sad that he died?
Exactly. And so current day Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Okay. Fake Paul McCartney. He's made fun of this by having like albums saying Paul is live. That's one of the albums.
Like
and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of stuff. But the thing is that he died in a fiery car crash, and this is actually a fake Paul McCartney.
Okay.
And
Paul McCartney.
And all the other 3 guys, or the other 2 guys, I think Ringo's only left, all went to their graves, but with this fake Paul McCartney idea.
Did they know it was fake Paul McCartney?
Oh, and they suggest that he's taller than the original Paul.
Oh, Jesus, okay.
And just a bunch of other things. So it doesn't walk the same as the original Paul. Just a bunch of stuff, right?
Okay.
So Paul McCartney is dead. He's actually faux Paul McCartney.
Did you know?
Yeah. Number 2.
It was my turn for the JFK assassination.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
let's talk more about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is... I would assuage that this is the mother of all conspiracies.
Yeah.
Going forward, right?
Except for my number 1.
Yeah, well, except for my number 1. That's fucking foundational.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's been over 1,000 books written about the Kennedy assassination.
1,000 books, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder which one's the best one. I should read one of them.
And 90% of them support works validating a conspiracy.
Yeah. I 100% think there's a conspiracy for sure.
So, like, like everyone, CIA, Mafia, Lyndon B. Johnson.
And in this case, a conspiracy.
KGB.
Yeah, in this case, a conspiracy could be something as simple as a cover-up of some sort, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think hand in hand.
When you say conspiracy, it could be a variety of things. There's going to be some that are completely far, like, on the right or whatever. And, then you're going to have ones that are just like, okay, it's a little cover-up because we can't tell you the details of how this happened or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it could destabilize a government, right?
Yeah, and could it? I don't know. Like, you always try to, who's benefiting what out of this at the end of the day? So, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the movie JFK purported that it was just a secret cabal of generals who wanted to keep wars going, and JFK was going to pull him out of the war, so they got rid of him, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm sure there's things we don't know, like anything that comes out of the government. Is it as crazy conspiracy as people hope it is? I don't know if it is. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a big believer of like Occam's razor and just whatever the most likely outcome is probably the real one.
Yeah, but it's hard to say what the most likely was
and that's,
here.
And that's the problem with this, right? Because there's a lot of moving pieces.
Because again, when you're just talking about the bullet path, okay, it's very, very weird. Hits his wrist, then it literally does a 90-degree turn and hits his leg.
Yeah.
And then you got another one coming at his head.
Yeah.
So we're talking about two perfect shots.
Yeah.
Right? So again, it suggests potentially two. And then we made fun of it before, but back into the left.
Yeah.
His head goes back into the left. Well, if, like, again, they don't know where he shot from, although they say it's going to be from the observatory or whatever that book. What was that building called?
The book repository building.
Repository. That's
book
what it was.
Repository building.
Anyway, so they say that one, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't support back into the left if he shot from there.
And they let a guy with a gun get that close into a federal parking lot to come and shoot him in the gut whilst being marched with no safety vest or like it's just like
how does he walk in undeterred?
The Luigi who just shot a fucking rich dude had like 40 fucking cops around him and 9 levels of body armor as they walked him through a parking garage.
Yeah,
maybe that's just because they learned a lesson with JFK, but there's a lot of questions. I don't believe that there's some massive governmental conspiracy to murder the presidents. No, but is there things that we don't know that happened? For sure. I'm
going to say something horrible.
Horrible it up.
Okay, it's kind of off topic, but we are going to be living close. We are going to be living close. We live close to what's going to be the upcoming G7 summit.
Yeah,
okay,
very close to G7.
And so I'm hoping. I don't wish this on anybody, but I wouldn't mind to talk about a Trump assassination conspiracy theory 5 years from now. I'd love just to have that conversation.
Yeah, except him like past presidents, they don't spend any nights here. They fly back to the U.S. every night.
Every night, do they?
Yeah. Like
really?
The other leaders will stay here, but no, they always helicopter back to Montana, and then they stay the night there, and then they fly back for the day.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they never stay the night in Canada.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Probably for the best.
Probably for the best.
Alberta's probably the safest place for him.
I mean, it is the safest place.
Number one. It's my number one.
Go with your number one.
This is not going to be on your list. I don't think we're going to shake it at all.
I would be surprised if it was, I'll be honest.
Brushy Bill Roberts.
Never heard of it.
Brushy Bill Roberts is a guy that came out in 1948 in New Mexico, and he asked the governor of New Mexico for a pardon because he claimed he was actually Billy the Kid. Okay? No, hear me out.
Yeah.
So he claimed that in 1881, Pat Garrett did not, in fact, shoot him. He got away, and he lived his life, and he was actually Billy the Kid. He had intimate knowledge of things that occurred to and around Billy the Kid, and he had proof of scars of known injuries that Billy the Kid sustained.
Okay.
And so he came to the governor asking for a pardon because of all the horrible things he did as Billy the Kid. And so there was many investigations into Brushy Bill Roberts. Again, this was his nickname. This is 1948, I think he came out.
Okay.
And so we're talking about 60 years after, because Billy the Kid, he was like 19, right?
Yeah,
That's why he was
still young,
kid, right?
Yeah.
And so he'd only be like, however, 80 something, right? And so he was like, yeah, no, I'm Billy the Kid. I need a pardon. I've done some horrible things. And he was atoning for his sins. And so there's debate to this day whether Brushy Bill Roberts was actually Billy the Kid and that he survived the encounter with Pat Garrett in 1881.
And did he have, like, other than intimate knowledge, like, did they give him a pardon for Billy the Kid's crimes? Like, did they even get to that point?
They didn't, because they ultimately didn't believe him. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And where did he end up? Where was he?
What do you mean? Where was he?
Where? Like, what state was he in? Like, was he
in New Mexico? He always stayed in New Mexico. Yeah, he loved. Yeah, Billy the Kid was always in New Mexico. He always stayed in New Mexico.
Oh,
and so that's and so fun. And then we'll go into pop culture a little bit. So the first Young Guns movie, for instance, had a voiceover at the end of the movie saying. And then they did all the where everybody ended up, and then Kiefer says, and then Billy the Kid was shot and killed by Pat Garrett at Fort Sumner in 1881. Right? Yeah. Okay, and then Young Guns 2 comes out, and Young Guns 2 basically said, "Fuck Young Guns 1."
Yeah,
we're gonna go with the Brushy Bill Roberts version of Billy the Kid. And so the whole story was how he had, and then it's weird if you watch the movie, the actual assassination part, how it happened was very weird, how they filmed it, and you didn't really understand how it happened, other than he was, again, at the end of the movie, he was 80 years old trying to get a pardon from the government. So the first movie they were like nope, and then the second movie they're like yes, conspiracy theory.
Give us the movie.
And then they played Blaze of Glory by John Bon Jovi. So anyway, Brushy Bill Roberts, my number one conspiracy theory. I didn't know that one.
Number one. For my number one, I went with a very this one I think hits the world foundationally, more so than the JFK assassination. That I think everyone can speak to and have an opinion on, which is why I wanted to talk about it. And it is the conspiracy of the Larrys.
The Larrys?
The Larrys.
Okay.
The Larrys are a group of shipping conspiracy theory fans centered around the idea that two members of the boy band One Direction, Harry Styles and Louis Tomlinson, are secretly a couple. Now, they approvably falsely claim that Styles and Tomlinson have closeted their relationship based because of their management, and they don't want them to come out that way. But they've been purporting since the early 2010s that these two are secretly a relationship, and have been doing their best to help these two poor, insanely rich men come out of the closet for each other's love going forward. So the two names blended together, Larry Stylinson, so they call themselves Larrys. Now, granted, both Harry Styles and Tomlinson have repeatedly disavowed this belief in public, as has their families, friends, and band members since this time. But it's been a big deal since they formed on the X Factor.
It's so sad that we have to have conspiracy theories about someone's sexuality. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
like, who gives a shit?
Because they want to help them get free. These incredibly rich men, who are married with families, they want to help them get free from where they're at. But like, getting into this had a bigger...
Here, hand me one of those drumsticks again. I want another one.
This had a bigger Wikipedia accent here than like the weather and earthquake control of the Larrys.
The Larrys.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before. Here, have a drumstick.
I think so. If you really get into it, guys, the Larrys, we've got to help Harry and Louis get out of that.
You know what we should do? What we should do is... after we do our top five, we should say what our favorite one the other person did. If we didn't do it, just to say like, oh, that's really cool. You have that.
I learned the most from your number one.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about chemtrails. That was fascinating to me.
Yeah, chemtrails.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I like you did that.
All right.
I think it's time for these are good. I think it's time for a game.
It's time for a game.
Ready for a game? All right. We're gonna do a game of best is best.
Oh, I love best is best.
You know what? You'll love it. We are going to bracket out the best of improvised scenes in cinema.
Oh, I'm going to like this. Okay.
The best improvised scenes in cinema.
All right. I already know what number one is, but that's awesome. Okay.
Well, we're going to find out together, right?
Yeah, I already know what number one is.
So I've already broken them down into brackets.
Do you want me to write it down? What I put in, before we even said anything? Do you want me to write down?
Yeah, you write down what you think number one's going to be.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to put it right here. At the top of my list.
That's the whole point. We need to bracket out.
All right, done.
All right, we're going to start out. I'll give little bits as we start here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking here.
I'm walking
here.
No, it's true. That is an improvised.
1969's Midnight Cowboy.
Yep.
As Hoffman's walking across the street in some random cab because they didn't have access to close down the streets, almost runs into him. He slaps the cab, says, "I'm walking here." Improvised line compared to "I Know" from Star Wars Empire.
You know what? I'm going to go with I know for Star Wars Empire.
Yeah. His line was supposed to be when Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia calls out to him before he gets through frozen carbonite saying, I love you. He was supposed to say, I love you too.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford's like, no, Han Solo's not saying that shit. And then they said, go. George Lucas said, okay, fine, whatever, say whatever you want and go. And that's what he said. He said, I know.
Well, Irvin Kershner said that, not George Lucas.
Who wrote it?
Who wrote it? George Lucas, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But the director is the one who
said. Are you going to say I know?
Yeah, I know.
I will also go with that. I mean, the Midnight Cowboy one's pretty well known, but I think
it is. Yeah.
Next up, we have the necklace box scene from 1990's Pretty Woman.
Oh yeah.
So Edward suddenly snaps shut the necklace box on Vivian's hand, which was just completely made up, and that surprise reaction laughter is very genuine because she didn't know it was going to happen.
That's awesome. I like
and
that.
that's what everyone thinks of that scene. When
Some
they think
of them I'm not going to know. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that was
that one compared to I'm the King of the World
from Titanic. No, the Pretty Woman one wins because that's just cool. That's a cool one.
Yeah.
Did I tell you? I already told you what snack I want them to come up with. Really quickly, going back to these drumsticks. Did I tell you what snack I want?
I probably.
Okay, I want them to come up with half popped popcorn kernels.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Right at the bottom of the bag.
The weird crunchy popcorn.
I would love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. Sorry for interrupting.
Where we got next? We go now to the chest waxing scene from 40-Year-Old Virgin.
That's a good one.
So this part I didn't know. So it was 100% really filmed that he did it. What they found out later was that the woman cast the part lied about her waxing expertise and didn't have any.
That's awesome.
So they didn't know that either. So she was just going for broke.
That poor guy.
Yeah. So everything, the pain and the blood was all real for that one.
Oh, and that was hilarious. The best part was the blood afterwards.
Yep.
Oh man.
And I really liked that one. I figured it would win, but I purposely paired it up with this one for you.
Okay.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Oh, fuck me.
Roy Schneider improvised the line while filming Jaws.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah, you're going to need a bigger boat is iconic to me. It means so much to me. And actually, I forgot about that one, so it might overtake the one that I wrote down on my phone.
No, that just means you're wrong. The one you wrote down on the phone.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, you're going to need a bigger boat.
Oh, that is where you're going?
No, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, listen, like that whole scene, just like, it's the first realization from that whole crew, and holy shit, we're in over our heads.
We're fucked.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that show. God, I love Jaws.
Next to, we have You Can't Handle the Truth.
That was improvised?
That was improvised.
Get the fuck out.
A few good minutes. So the line, as written, is you already have the truth, as was written in the book and in the script. Our what's I forget the general's name. I forget they call him in the movie.
Oh, General Jessup.
Colonel Jessup. Thank you. Nicholson basically just said, no. He's like, it's not commanding enough to say you already. So he just changed it to you can't handle the truth, and they kept it.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
I have such affinity for that movie. Like, I'd probably put it in my top 10 movies of all time. I think it's that good.
It's a great movie.
Because let's talk about the pedigree. We got Rob Reiner.
Yep.
Insane director, in my opinion.
Yep.
It was written by Aaron Sorkin.
Yep.
Aaron Sorkin is, and I'm going to say he is I think he's a better dialogue writer than Tarantino. He's the best dialogue writer,
absolutely,
in the
history
of movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. Like, this is. It's the Mecca.
Yeah, and Kevin Bacon.
I watched this movie in the theater. That's how. Like, I went to the theater for. Now, think about this.
1992 for those of you who are listening.
1992. I'm literally 16 years old. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the theater for that.
Yeah,
like, that's insane.
And it's good.
Yeah,
yeah. If you think we're talking out of our ass, just go back and watch it again. It is a strong movie.
That movie's fucking great.
You Can't Handle the Truth is stacked up against to Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli. The Godfather, 1972. So initially, the line was so they shoot Buddy in the car, and Richard Castellano was supposed to say "Leave the gun," but his wife, who was on the set at the time, said say "Leave the gun," but then say "Take the cannoli" because there's a cannoli in there. And so then he went on scene and did it, and they liked it and they kept it. So After they shoot the guy in the car, he says, "Take the gun," or "Leave the gun, take the cannoli."
This is another. First off, it's going to be A Few Good Men, obviously for me. But this is another instance where nostalgia plays a factor because I didn't see The Godfather until after I saw A Few Good Men. So I have more affinity.
Interesting.
For that one. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But I mean that scene. Everyone everyone knows that scene.
Yeah, leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
Or no, everyone knows the
you
Few
can't
Good Men.
Yeah.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah. Okay. You can't handle the truth.
Great best is best so far.
Next we have. Here's looking at you, kid.
Okay.
Casablanca.
Yep.
He ad-libbed it because the script was incomplete as they were filming it. Which everyone knows. When I said that, everyone knows what movie I'm talking about. I'd say it's that well known, right? He's looking at you, kid. Mm-hmm. And funny how the Goodfellas, like a clown, like I amuse you.
Like I'm a joke.
So Pesci just completely came up with this. The other actor's reaction is genuine. It wasn't in the script. They didn't know he was going to do it. He just was given carte blanche to do what he wanted. And that was all him coming up off the bat and getting very angry and scary for people. So
I've never seen Casablanca. So
really?
Goodfellas. That's another good one.
Yeah,
that's another good one.
Go watch.
This is a great best is best. Yeah, it's going to be Goodfellas.
Watch Casablanca.
Okay,
it's a good movie. It stands up for a reason.
I just hate the way they acted back then. Like that old timey acting.
But this stands up for it. It's a good movie. Go back and watch it.
All right.
Yeah. And next we got a couple more. We have You Talking to Me.
Are you talking to
De Niro,
me? Taxi driver.
Scorsese just said when he was standing in front of the mirror, Scorsese just said, "Do something, make something up," and then they started rolling it, and that's the first thing he did.
Love it.
And then we have Hannibal making fun of Clarice. Silence of the Lambs, 91. So here's why I like this one.
What did he say?
Okay, so everyone knows the chilling.
Yeah,
he made that up.
That was improvised.
And then he said a census taker once tried to test me. That was all improvised. But the thing that on top of that is he improvised the scene where he makes fun of Clarice to intentionally make fun of Jodie Foster, to intentionally get her off guard as the actor, to then make her more freaked out in the show. So Anthony Hopkins did this intentionally. So he knew Jodie Foster was working really, really hard on her accent, for the West Virginia accent for this character, and she was like working all the time offset on it, and she always felt that she wasn't doing a good enough job, even though she did fine. She was working really hard. So when he gets on there and he starts in character making fun of Clarice's accents and saying how it's funny and doesn't sound proper, like, are you sure you're from there? Like, he starts calling out Clarice's accent. It's Anthony Hopkins doing it to Jodie Foster, which then she wrote about after, and she's like, it made me so mad, but she knew what he was doing, that he was genuinely trying to like pull that fear out of her. So that improvisation, because again, that wasn't the script, that was just Anthony Hopkins was going off, but how he's going off with the intent to throw off his co-actor to bring out a visceral response. I thought it was really cool. So that whole scene was just a lot of Anthony Hopkins just making
awesome.
good decisions.
Awesome.
You Talking to Me, Hannibal making fun of Clarice. What do you like?
Oh, well, put it this way. I think the more iconic scene is the You Talking to Me.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know that one?
Yeah. Although I'm really impressed, like, you get an Oscar for that role for the stuff you nobody knows you did too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Next we have Here's Johnny.
Yeah, that's
The
good.
Shining.
God, that's good.
Again, Nicholson's on here. And excuse me, the glass injury scene. We talked about this before. Django Unchained.
Yeah, Leo
cuts his hand open.
Yeah,
and keeps just going with the scene.
Yeah, no, phenomenal that he did that. That was really cool. But Here's Johnny is epic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's Johnny. Last one for this bracket is all right.
That was Dallas Buyers Club.
That was Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused.
Nice McConaughey.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That scene was
right actor, wrong movie.
Right. Yes, that's correct. Right actor. That entire scene has no dialogue. They just said action and McCartney. He just rolled the window down. That's just what he said. He said it felt right. So he just threw it out. Said all right. And that statement has followed his career forever.
I watched a clip on Twitter. Someone had posted a clip of Matthew McConaughey. He was one of the actors in a real life depiction from, like, remember Unsolved Mysteries?
Yeah.
And so it was an Unsolved Mysteries case.
Oh, but
he was one of the actors. What is it called when they reenactment?
Yeah.
He was in the reenactment, and that was one of his first acting gigs.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
It was really bad.
Let's Google that.
Yeah. Go ahead. What was the second one?
Against clapping for Gordon.
Clapping for Gordon. 1,000 times.
So Joker's in custody.
Yeah.
Gordon gets promoted by the mayor as the new commissioner. Everyone starts cheering. And then the loud clapping everyone stops to is Heath Ledger's the Joker who's in jail. He's just clapping aggressively, staring at everyone. So everyone kind of stops and looks at him as a true reaction because it was old Heath doing his thing. So that's what you want?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. We're narrowing it down.
Narrowing
it down. Okay.
Narrowing.
Next we have... Next brackets. Star Wars I Know against the necklace box scene.
Star Wars I Know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Star Wars I Know. I know.
There's a good one. Okay. Next we have You're Gonna Need a Bigger Boat to You Can't Handle the Truth.
Fuck. That's tough.
Yeah.
You know what? Nostalgia plays a part. But like I said, that scene establishes the holy shitness that those guys are in when he says that. But conversely, the second he says, you can't handle the truth. No, that's not true. Because I was going to say that's the point where he fucks himself. No. It's where he says, you're goddamn right.
You're goddamn right I ordered the code red.
You're goddamn right I did. I'm going to go with You're Going to Need a Bigger Boat.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to need a bigger boat.
That'll take us to Funny How, like I'm a clown, like I amuse you.
Yeah, that's good.
To You Talking to Me.
Funny how.
Funny how. I would agree with that.
I'm like a clown?
I'd agree with that. Because overall, I think You Talking to Me is more well known, but that scene in and of itself was unreal.
Yes.
Here's Johnny clapping for Gordon.
Here's Johnny.
Ooh,
definitely wins.
Okay.
Listen, that was in every clip montage of any horror thing ever.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. That's going to take us down to now Star Wars is I Know to You're Going to Need a Bigger Boat.
Hold on, give me a sec. I need a bigger... What was it again? Sorry?
Star Wars, I Know.
Yeah, and bigger boat. Fuck. Okay. I'm going to make a decision here.
Please do.
Okay. You're going to get a bigger boat is going to be my pick.
Yeah.
Because it's just got... It used to be my favorite movie for 35 years.
Yep.
So, you're going to need a bigger boat.
Okay. I would say I Know for the exact same reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will give you... Oh, shit. Press the wrong button. I'll give you your thing. Okay. And I just closed out of the whole thing, so give me a second. What did you watch first? Star Wars or Jaws?
I couldn't even tell you. I don't know. I was too young to remember. But I did see them both very, very young.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing I saw Jaws first just because it was on the TV quicker than what Star Wars was. Like, it was not like, when they played movies on TV.
Yeah, you had more Jawses than...
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Next we have Funny How.
Yep.
And Here's Johnny.
Funny How, to me, even though Here's Johnny's like super classic,
yeah,
but that Funny How scene, because it's not just that line, it's a whole scene.
It's a whole scene,
yeah.
And it's scary. Like, it's this weird little,
because you didn't
intense.
know this is going to go south.
Yeah, you're like, oh fuck, someone's going to die with a fork in their face.
Yep.
Okay, that takes us to our last two then, my friend. So you're going to need a bigger boat, and Funny How.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
Jaws, the best, greatest improvised line ever in cinema.
It is to me. I put I Know on my thing
For Star Wars?
For Star Wars. That's,
Okay.
that's what I put. I know you can see her at the top there.
Yeah.
But you reminded me of what the real answer was.
I thought you would like this one simply because it was Jaws, but there it is. That is the best.
Great game.
Best is best improvised scene in cinema. Jaws.
You know what? This episode was best of best. Great episode.
Great episode, everybody.
We did it.
Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you didn't like.
Yeah.
If you want more of what we do here.
If you want more jazzy delights. If you want more top 5. If you want more Am I Racist? If you want more
if you want a top 5 or a jazzy delight, tell us what you want and we'll probably do it.
Yeah.
If you want to see pictures of our feet, let us know.
Not doing that.
Oh, no. Okay.
Sorry.
We'll talk about it.
Sorry about that.
We'll talk about it off screen. Corbyn, where can they find us?
They can find us at Radical Apathy Podcast on Facebook and Apathy Podcast on Twitter. And I don't even know what accent am I doing?
I'm not sure what that was, to be honest.
That was like a mixture of Cartman and Deep South.
Should we go back to our jazzy delights to sign off?
Let's do it.
Okay.
We got music playing right now.
Hey, we're back to Jazzy Boys.
Jazzy sign off.
Yeah.
You can find us on YouTube at the Radical Apathy Podcast.
YouTube.
You can catch us here hopefully every 2 weeks. Our schedules are a little fucked right now, but
we're doing our best. We're doing our best for you.
Tanner, tell them you're going on a vacation right now.
Yeah, I'm going to fucking London town.
Going to London town. Not Ontario.
No. Actual London town.
You're going to London. Where are you staying in London?
I don't know.
You don't?
In London.
You're going in London. You didn't book the trip.
No. I'll have stories for you next time I'm back.
I'm interested to hear about London.
Yeah.
I want to know if you're going to walk around the city and just do just live in the moment.
Get my feet on the ground.
Listen, we want to thank you for joining us, you jazzy cats.
Oh, jazzy, beautiful cat people.
You come on back next time.
I'll be so happy to see you.
And remember, none of this shit matters.
I love you so much.